Heyo! Welcome to Channel 64 Chats, a monthly podcast with a rotating cast of Channel 64 members that we have made into this community event. Later to be posted to the Channel 64 YouTube as a sort of low-key podcast. For anyone watching on YouTube, this was recorded live in the Channel 64 community Discord. So if you want to join us and hang out and ask questions, make sure you follow that link below to join us. For those here, we are so glad you are. We've made this a Discord stage so that we could share our screen or screens with you, and you can chat with us and ask questions in the stage chat. So, this is going to be a loaded question, but what has everybody been up to lately?
Oh, not a lot.
It's not a lot. Just
No.
It's been pretty slow, you know.
Yeah, it's just been one of those lull months,
yeah, so I guess to start out, we are in the administration building. We've been doing some final finales lately. And so this build was
some small building off camera, you know.
yeah, some very small building off camera. So this is the administration building. And per lore, this is where the big bad has lived. And this is actually designed and built by some of our community members. Elegant Elephant was one of them. We've got Oliver, our mod, Stowe. They helped us with this, as well as some of us working alongside them, and it is amazing. It is a huge project and turned out to be a big part of our finales.
Thanks for the unpaid labor.
Unpaid labor. But yeah, we've been working on a lot of finales lately. I guess I'll go first with what I've been up to. Finale. I've been rushing to get finales done, social media stuff. As you've seen, there have been social media posts daily for at least a week now, going on. Going to be a week, 2 weeks of new members, returning members, all of the fun stuff leading up to the new season, and so many behind the scenes things. We're so excited for that. As well as, of course, the most reasonable time to take a vacation in there too. So yeah, it's been a lot. Peep, what have you been up to?
Well, I've been struggling to. I'm like the only one at this table that didn't make a finale, and there is a good reason for that. And that reason is technical difficulties, and also mental health, and also, yeah, yeah,
dropping a dash of actual physical sickness in there as well. Like,
yeah, I did get a little bit of COVID for like a week. So also that and basically we had loads of really, really fun clips together that were really, really entertaining. So much fun. Didn't pick up any of your audio, anybody's. It was just me laughing to myself. So
laughing.
It was a lot of laughing, but
you might have been a little sicker than you realize, because that's actually what happened.
Yeah,
that was the recordings.
It was. It was just
Pete playing parkour by himself
alone. Yeah. It was a COVID delusion, basically. I was hallucinating that I was playing Minecraft with my friends. But yeah, I sadly was not able to get finale out, but that shall be addressed in some ways in the maybe in season 3. I've got plans.
Love it.
Oh, hey. I could have just pressed speak on stage.
LEONÉ.
Hello. I'm sorry. I was waiting for someone to let me in.
That's all right.
Let me in.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. We are going through what everybody's been up to lately. Do you want to hop in, or should I hop on to Loki?
Go to Loki first, please.
All right, and Loki, what have you been up to?
A lot of things. I've been still trying to get my finale done. I got my second to last episode. It was supposed to be the third to last episode, but time. And so I'm deciding to condense everything that was going to be in the last 2 episodes into one. So I've been working very hard on that, and also updating my mod that runs for the Robot Masters up to 120. So I did that last night. And then come to find out the guy that does Taterzins didn't bother to update his mod. So we only have half of the functionality with that. So that's fun. And other things that I've been stressing about as well. But mostly just working on the finale, which is coming along. I'm hoping to have that done probably conservatively is going to be at the end of the next week. And we're going to be like right up against season 3. But yeah, it's been just a lot of stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, we are plant. So yeah, we've been wrapping up season 3, or season 2. Season 3 starts officially. We will be joining the server next weekend. So this is kind of the big last weekend event. Lots of changes coming up. It's super exciting. We've still got a couple new member announcements coming,
Wait,
as well as a
hold
couple
up.
other things. Yes.
Sorry, I hopped into
Ended
the
up
game with the
downstairs.
wrong skin.
Oh, no worries.
Ooh,
Um,
spoilers.
Jess, what have you been up to?
What have I been up to? I released my season finale today.
Oh, I gotta go see that.
It's very good.
Fantastic.
Very much relieved to get it finished. So happy with it. Right. Ridiculously happy with how it came out. Wouldn't have been able to do it without so much help from others. Archie was an NPC for me. Obviously, Elegant Elephant and Stowe, and that built this lovely building we're in right now. But yes, episode finale came out today. So now it's clearing the decks, ready for season 3, which I'm also super excited about.
Which you would think we would have this nice little break this week, and yet, like, there's just this long list of things we keep coming up with that need done this week.
There's no breaks
No.
for a while.
No.
And that goes back to we started planning for season 3 months ago at least.
At least, yeah.
There are so many things to do. So much goes into transitioning a season.
Where is everyone?
Loki,
hi.
there we go. Thank
Thanks.
you. And
Excuse me,
LEONÉ,
pardon
just
me,
in
excuse me,
time.
pardon
What have you been up to this month?
Mainly assignment work for university.
Boo!
That's yeah, boo university.
Education,
No.
boo.
That's what I've been up to. And then I'm slowly working on my finale because it's not out yet, but it will be. Eventually.
Awesome.
I'm a little nervous. Yeah. I really want to get it done. And get ready for the next season. I've also been trying to build for the next season, but I've been very indecisive.
The most exciting part of the next season is starting planning and all the cool things that are coming.
Yeah.
So from there, normally we'd roll into meeting recap. We actually had the meeting 2 days ago just because of all the events we had today. But short version is new seasons around the corner, and we've already talked about that.
Is it?
I know.
This is brand new information.
What?
We'll do.
No. I got a plan to build.
Be right back.
We'll do one more reminder and say, hey, the community world tour is after this. There is a specific page in the Discord called Event Info that will help you get everything that you need to join that. And if you're listening on YouTube, the world download, it will hopefully be up around that time as well. And you can go find that through the Discord as well. For those live, it'll be about another week or so. So, main topic time. Season 2, final review. How did it go? What do we think? Everybody coming back for season 3? Apparently not.
All of us.
Well, now that you mention it, no.
You know,
the worst time
going on.
Hey, actually.
Actually.
I mean, we're all coming back. I think we're all very excited for season 3. So season 2 didn't like ruin experiences of the server, anything like that. So I mean, my point is, it could have been a lot worse. I think we criticized season 2 too much.
Yeah,
I
I think we hit the ground running and perhaps did too much at the beginning. The pacing was slightly off, but I mean, it was so much fun. Them first few months was just crazy hectic.
getting so real so quick. You were supposed to go straight for no, it was amazing.
Oh no, I mean it was.
No,
I mean,
absolutely.
definitely comparing it to season 1, the start was so nice actually for us all to kind of start at the same time. Whereas sort of season 1, we kind of the ones of us that joined staggered through the season, so you didn't have that initial day one kind of hey, we're all here, let's go. So yeah, that was a lot of fun at the beginning.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
it's turned out really well. I think we tied up the story well.
Yeah, I think with the end of every season, it's the reminder that this is a huge learning experience. Like every season, we learn so much more. Does every season go perfect? Absolutely not. But I'm confident that each season we learn enough to move forward and keep going and improving.
Definitely.
So, but as you said, it wasn't perfect. Do we want to do we want to go straight for the issues we saw in a lighthearted and fun way?
Was it like a compliment sandwich? We have to say something positive, something negative, then something positive.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't. That's negative. Is it negative? I think it's just circumstantial. The season's sort of tailing off after Christmas.
Yeah. Which
I
we
mean,
can
that's
touch
why-
on.
Go on.
Yeah, we can touch on that, but also our thoughts for improving that already. Because yes, that is something we've run into 2 seasons in a row now. Is the holidays are a lot, and it kind of depends what kind of age group you're working with. You have some age groups that hit Christmas time and they don't have school and they've got plenty of time to play and make all the content. And then you've got us old people who hit that time and we're like, it is so stressful making sure kids have presents and holidays and getting places and all of those things on top of making content, that it's a lot. And so we at Channel 64 specifically see a bit of a slowdown during the holidays when it comes to content. That could always rotate and change as we grow and add new players, and I hope so. But that said, we are looking at an opportunity to hopefully improve that and build on that excitement that we lose during those times. And you know what? Here is a first opportunity to glance at something that's hopefully coming. So with today, we've got the Community World Tour, which we are super excited about. We're hoping to do a mid-season Community World Tour, more focused on mini games. So obviously today we're going to maybe play some mini games, but we want to focus on, just our time on the server, builds, everything else, kind of reminiscing. But we are hoping that building some mini games leading up to the winter, one says, well, we've got that event during the holidays and we can build up to that. If you're not making a video that month, that's fine. We still have that event. But also, it's an opportunity to get people here that enjoy our content and the builds to come hang out, play, and not only that, but see what we've built and kind of renew that excitement for, well, I can't wait to show them what I'm going to build next. As well as maybe the opportunity to cross collab with other SMPs and do some mini game streams.
Mm-hmm. Also, the supporting cast that we've put in place for season 3 as well, I think will help a lot.
Early things, I guess, as I'm already releasing new things. But yeah. Supporting cast. Big eyes. All right, so let's roll right into another surprise, because if you're here in the Discord and you are hanging out, watching Channel 64 chats, you deserve all of the extra lore and surprises and early access to all of the knowledge. So sneak peek to something that's coming probably next week or the week after, even in regards to social media and in the backgrounds of videos. But we are working on a system for supporting cast. And what that is going to be is basically people that we, again, have specifically invited just as much as normal We have a very rigorous voting process when it comes to inviting people into the server and people that we trust to play with. But these will be people that don't make content or don't make content here with us, but still have the opportunity to play, build, potentially be in videos, all kinds of cool stuff. The idea being that we can go visit a whole nother town in a video that we didn't build or may not have even seen. So we've already mentioned a few of them, and they helped build the build that we're actually sitting in. So Elegant Elephant, Oliver, Stowe, as people that have been friends of the server or community moderators, these are people that we've already bestowed trust upon, and we are easing into this system, and we don't want to overwhelm it at any point, but it is very exciting and only slightly frustrating when they outbuild us. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it is a super awesome opportunity to hopefully bring some more life to the server. When, you know, there's a lot of in and outs for content creators between making content, editing, planning builds, and we're really hoping that this kind of rolls all that together to provide more life and again goes back to possibly helping us through these holidays so that we can keep the server and videos coming as frequently as we possibly can.
That's why they're supporting.
Wow, this turned into such a admin Aerington meeting discussion. Let's roll back into season 2. So let's see. What are our thoughts on leaving No Water? Because I know I have some thoughts there.
Some of us. I'm gonna put my head down. Some of us left a little bit too late, and it may have happened last season as well. But some of us didn't leave at all. But you know, it's one of those things. Sometimes you just get used to a place and you don't really want to like expand out. But yeah, I was gonna bring up stuff earlier about season 2 and like my thoughts about it and like personally and stuff, but I don't know if we've moved on from that point yet.
No, roll into it. Let's go.
Oh, okay. So basically, when I started season 2, I had an idea of what I wanted to do for like starter bases and like a whole vibe and stuff. Obviously, the Mad Max stuff was really fun. I really enjoyed doing that. All the builds that I did were very good, in my opinion. Like some of my best builds that I've done, and I think I focused on starting, and I didn't really know where I was going to go for the rest of the season. I didn't really plan out what was going to happen with the rest of my story, or like if I was going to move on and stuff. I just kind of focused on doing that, and I think that's something that I am going to change in the next season, where there's going to be more of a focus on visualizing my whole like story or journey through the server, and not just focusing on one cool idea that I think of at the start and not being able to move on from that.
Right. Yeah, and I think that does kind of the pre-planning and starting out, and there's so much to figure out and so much excitement. I feel like I also fell in that same pit of getting so excited about my initial project that it outgrew the scale that it should have been. I almost could have not left No Water and been good. I'm happy with the way I ended both, but there was a point where I was like, I could have done so much more at Kratala, and finally was like, I gotta go if I'm gonna go do the other things that I intended to do for the season.
I kind of go along the same lines where I never settled. So I think my first 5-6 episodes were like completely different builds in completely different areas. With the idea that sort of, okay, after Christmas I'll go and find an area and then start building an area. But then suddenly it's like, oh, 120 is coming out, or these new blocks are appearing. I don't want to start building a brand new area now because I'm like completely uninspired because of all the changes that are coming. We started discussing the end of the season and things like that. So yeah, definitely leaving too late and not having a plan of what I was going to do when I left. But in a way that's turned out quite nicely, because I think if I hadn't made the decision then to not start a new area where I didn't know what I was going to build, I would have got frustrated trying to quickly come up with ideas to get content out. I wouldn't have put so much effort, I think, into the season finale, which ended up being probably what I think is my best episode this season. But that's what I'm going to take into next season, is to just, like you say, have an idea of my entire story at the start. Yeah, I mean, there's details and specifics you can add as you go along, because you don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, having that in place at the beginning definitely going to be beneficial, more so for next season.
Absolutely. So I'm going to flip the coin here and say there are two sides to having everything planned. And Loki, do you want to tell us about the other side of having too much planned?
Yeah, so like
Or-
we were planning on doing a little bit longer of a season. Originally, I think it was supposed to be going to like the end of the year, and so I had planned for all that and said, "Oh yeah, because Mega Man, you have 8 robot masters, so I'm gonna build 8 areas for each robot master." And then we decided, because we had folks that were maybe that left the server, that we were looking to get some new people in, the update coming out, all that stuff, that we changed our plans and decided that we're gonna end sometime around July or August. So what the smart thing would have been to is like, okay, well, I can't make 8 robot masters. I'll just do like 6, or I'll do 4 or something like that. Instead, I said, no, I will push through and I will burn myself out to an extreme extent, and I will do all of the things. I don't want to do that again.
Right.
And so like for next season, for example, there's not going to be the overall like mega base idea is less of just I'm going to build these many things. It's going to be I'm going to build this, and we're going to just build one thing at a time, and whatever gets done type of thing. We'll just build it, have a main thing, and expand from that. And that way it's less stressful with just like trying to get everything done. Because even still, like with like in the last episode with like Chicken Man, for example, there was supposed to be a whole sky area of the base. That's never going to happen, because one, the design process took very long. Because when I had the base idea, it was just a general idea. I didn't have plans of like, okay, I'm going to build this for this, I'm going to build this for this. So the design process took several weeks, if not like a month, to just come up with some of these things. And it was just too much. It's too hard to do all that each time. It's fun, but it looked cool, and I can't wait for people to see it in person, because it is really big. But like even like this episode, like I had planned, to build a castle on top of the hill. But then I thought about, I'm like, what am I gonna, for what? Like, it doesn't serve a purpose. It's just a thing that's there, and like, why am I doing that to myself? And I can't, because I literally don't have time. So it is what it
Right.
is. I didn't, it's just compromises to that sort of thing. So
I mean, despite everything we're saying, the moments of fun have been really fun.
Oh, absolutely.
oh yeah, like,
I think
I didn't have a bad time at all. It's just like I recognize, like, if I kept doing this and like in a further season, I'm going to be very burnt out.
Yeah.
Of course.
I think also as well that the adrenaline of having a season 2 start with us all there kind of took over, and it was, oh, let's do the dragon fight, let's get wings, which was great for episode 1. But then you're in episode 2, you've got all your armor, you've got all your wings, everything's enchanted, and it's like there's no gameplay left. It just becomes building, and that's just not sustainable.
Right. That's where
I think that's something that we all kind of fell into this season, and I think that's also a big like reason why a lot of us, we did get carried away, and a lot of us did get burnt out.
so much
quite
excitement.
quickly.
We gotta say though that the chat is very much applauding the finished product, Loki, of where you got to.
Oh,
though.
absolutely.
It's
Yes.
amazing. It's definitely
Wait
worth
till you
it.
see that last episode, man. I'm
Oh,
telling you, that last episode,
I'm so ready. I'm so ready.
it's just like it's an emotional roller coaster of a month. Let me put it that way.
Inject it into my veins.
Right. Yeah, there is something to be said though about like I think you just kind of pointed out where it was the big thing that got you was putting a number on it and like locking that down in your head, because the reality is everybody paying attention to what we said in a previous episode and going to hold it as gospel? No, not
No.
yet, at least.
No.
Not at our size, and you could always apologize and say, "Hey, I didn't get there." But I totally get that, and that frustration of like I want to get the whole thing done.
Not even people on the server sometimes, like, which is really funny.
Right.
Sometimes you put stuff in your videos, you're like, oh, that's gonna be a cool Easter egg, and nobody ever brings it up.
Nobody notices.
Right. Yeah, that's something that I can kind of see both sides of that issue though with my bases this season, where Kratala, I made it in a closed in area thinking, well, I'll have to finish the closed in area and then I'll be done. But the closed in area just kept feeling like it needed more and more. And then my second half of the season, I did such a wide open area that I didn't have a firm direction of this much needed done. I'm just going to try to build what I want and where I can, and kind of I went for a screenshot. Like ultimately I was trying to fill out, if I looked at the area from this angle, it's going to fill this screenshot. And that worked. I do like that. So there's one thing I figured out. All right, so let's see. We've touched on leaving no water. We've very much left too early, left too late, could have not left, never left. We hit all over the map there. But does anybody want to kind of go into what we've done to combat that for next season? Because I'm going to take every opportunity to tell you that we are working on growing each season.
No, yeah, for sure. Well, like even just like outside of just like moving away, like so first off, one of the things we've decided to do is like our starter area, instead of being a giant like desert, where it is like vast and there are really no borders to it, we've tried to pick an area that has some limits to it, and that will allow us to have a more finished area versus a large area. One of my focuses, for example, with this next season is, I want to build stuff that's not just a base, it's something that is a content generation thing for other players. So it's like mini games. I mean, all of it's going to be mini games, pretty much mini games and rides, because I'm doing a theme park, like, but like, whereas you have like Good Times with Scar doing a Disneyland-esque theme park with Scarland, and that's focused more on like the look of Main Street and the castle and all that. I'm focusing strictly on roller coasters, log plume rides, mini game, carnival rides, all the like Redstone mini game things I can cram into. It's gonna be a pretty big area though. Like, so
Right.
we're gonna fall right back into the same trappings again, but it's basically going to be stuff that people can participate in. And it's like, hey, I don't know what to do for this episode. I need like an adventure go on to fill in some stuff. I'll go over to Loki's theme park and go ride some rides or try to get a higher score in this thing. That's kind of the goal with that.
Right. And that'll lead back into the holidays and hopefully having some more things to do there.
Definitely. I think as well, obviously the sporting cast is going to help, because there'll be people on, there'll be people playing when others might be away editing. So there's going to be chances for interaction, for seeing new things. But something I never considered, we didn't do last season, we've pretty much, all of us, even the new members, have picked areas on the map where we're going to build. So straight away you can start thinking, how can we connect these areas together? How can we then increase that interaction? So I think that's really going to help as well, knowing where everyone's going to be.
Right. And on top
because
of that,
season 2, we didn't. We had no idea where any of us were going to be.
We really didn't. Yeah. And on top of that, we've all kept within a reasonable distance a little more. I think this season we picked less on the perfect location and more on proximity to each other for content generation, for hanging out, for collaboration. And as far as that starter island, it's pretty small. I think we looked for something the size of not no water and some water, but like just no water. And then we'll evolve that into shopping district, and it's an island, so we've got some room in the outer areas. We can go up and down. There's still plenty of room for creativity, but a more limited space, so we can also feel like it's completed at the end of the season. Which,
Yeah, I think
that
that's
said,
really
Makes
good.
sense, yeah.
super happy with no water and some water.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was very skeptical of the size at first, but I'm really happy. I think we still could have filled out some water a little more, but the reality is
Mhm.
for the group we had and the activity, like it doesn't look bare.
Sunwater itself was such a huge project as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
Definitely good that
Me and Terrick spent so long on
yeah,
that.
it's definitely a huge thing that it was committed to so early on. If we had committed to that any later, it never would have gotten as far as it did.
I wish we could have committed to Mojang making dolphins that worked with some waters oasis, because that was going to be really cool. And I remember dragging them over there and then coming back and it's like they're all dead. Like, what the heck?
Oh yeah, I remember this conversation.
Polite way to put it is dolphins, definitely
dolphins
have a
just-
death wish.
Pretty much.
They're
yeah.
designed for death. I mean, that's what it is.
It's true.
It's like you're
We
going to
could've-
die out of the water and you're going to die in the water. There you
Did
go.
we try turtles? Did we try putting turtles in there?
Turtles probably would work.
That would have been
Yeah.
cool.
That would work.
They tend to return to like their beaches. They're very weird like that.
They're too slow. They I don't know.
Just fence
could
off
stop
the
that.
whole shore.
Or just hatch some there, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
Can we mention the idea about guilds?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we had an idea next season to have various guilds for different things, but to also bringing in the community so that the community in the Discord can post things on guild notice boards for us to do, whether that be fetching things or building things or whatever. So I think that'll also be a nice way to add value to the season and keep us busy and having lots of fun.
Kind of like
Keep
Yeah,
us
kinda-
busy and
quests or
connected.
bounties.
Yeah, kind
Yeah.
of a little bit of a parallel to like say the Z advancements in season 9 of Hermitcraft, but not exactly like that. We're not like necessarily talking about advancements, but just like, hey, this person from the community suggested that we go, collect all these heads, or we, gather all these trims, or go find this thing, or we're gonna go build a sunken piece of treasure for somebody, to find.
Create a musical.
Well,
Nah,
we'll get there. Maybe.
maybe not that.
I mean, I think there's something to be said, and maybe this isn't season 2 specific. But all of the effort we've been putting towards the Discord this year, I'm so proud of it. I'm so excited for the future of the community Discord. We're doing our best to make sure we're around, active as we can be, to have things like block parties and playing games with the community, plays where you can watch us struggle through some multiplayer game like Among Us, chats like this, world tour events, and we love that. Just know we are committed to continuing in this direction going forward. It is a huge part of what we are loving about this season, for sure. From there, we can touch on story, and then it's probably about time to roll into the tour.
Well, I can tease some of what I have for my finale. I mean tease. Basically, it's broad as possible. So, basically going to be celebrating the lore of, well, I mean, just the lore of everything. Like the lore of this season, previous seasons. We're going to be tying up some loose ends and highlighting even just like
previous worlds I've been in. I'm getting choked up talking about it. It's very close, very close to me. It's been a rough month in a positive way. So it's a lot to handle. You'll understand soon enough. Like it's a lot to take in, but it's good. I can't wait to show you what I've got.
It's just a testament, isn't it, to what we've managed to create here and in the past and how far we've come. I think that's the perfect way to finish your season. It's going to be amazing.
Oh yeah. I mean, and even maybe we roll right through story for a second just to say how much of an opportunity this is in general, to do the things we do, to have this history of our friendship recorded, and these worlds are really years of our lives, and it's insane to think that people from all over the world have come together and met under these circumstances to make content and have a unified goal of just hanging out and having fun and creating something super special. And it never ceases to amaze me looking back at what we have. I don't think I'm gonna get as choked up this year, but I remember season 1 world tour. I definitely was a mess. Loki's got that this time, but it's wild.
Yeah, the world is nuts. Because I remember because the world tour, I don't think it's gonna be as bad for me, but I remember my first SMP and just the finale. That was hard. And we're going back.
Yeah, it's like saying goodbye to a friend,
that.
isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, that's my whole episode is going back to that first SMP and what that meant to me and kind of tying it back to all of this. There's it's funny because it's just came out of nowhere, but there's literally a story arc, a lesson, if you will, that ties back to season 1 of this server, which I didn't participate in necessarily, but it ties in with that story, and the resolution is just it's just really cool. So
it is nice to tie it all up though, and then going in season 3, new story, old stories all tied up, new members, new ideas, fresh concepts. It's gonna be great. But
new shenanigans,
more shenanigans.
Always time for shenanigans.
More bits.
That's a good way to keep rolling into it. We have touched on the history, and we're doing our best to wrap up as much as we can, because there is a time for resetting and starting new. We're starting new friendships. We're starting a whole new journey, and this continually changes and grows. And we want to make sure we're not leaving people behind or leaving things, that somebody joins and they've got to go watch 2 seasons worth of lore. Now, does that mean we're going to abandon all the things we know and love? No. Old Bones Jones will still be here next season, unfortunately.
Yes.
Axolotl Woman, we've got ways to kind of bring back characters and things we love. But I think a great way to put it is, for anybody that watched season 1 and knew how big of a role that Dr. Disappointment held, and Beta, we absolutely love and adore Doc and all his help and stuff. And but there was a time that his life outside of this is starting to take on I got caught up here a bit. He's doing really well in his animating, and things are going very well for him. So he has less time for the Minecraft side of things, and we totally respect and love that. But there is a time to kind of balance that out and roll into the new lore. Going into
something
season
I
3,
really like about
people won't
about
know
this
Doc, and
season's
that's
story.
fine.
But this season's story, completely accidentally, has ended up kind of mirroring what's been going on with regards to sort of AI and creativity. And I know it's completely accidental, but I think it's brilliant that we set off with this army of people telling us what we should and shouldn't be doing with our content, to kind of sate this mystical algorithm. It's really kind of poignant when you're looking at artists that are having their work scraped for AI and stuff. Completely accidental, but yeah, I really enjoyed the fact that that's landed that way this season.
Yeah, we ended up doing this entire commentary on this giant issue on the internet.
Completely by accident.
Completely by accident, but I think, yeah, I agree with Jess. I think it's very cool.
And I think what's funny about it too is like I remember originally when I heard about like what we wanted to do for the story, and I was like, I just don't get it. Like I don't get. But then like embraced it. Like it, I don't know. It just something clicked. Like, and it's all by chance and all kind of just organic. It just kind of worked itself out. Certainly would like to try to pace story. I mean, we tried to this season too, pace story, but a little bit less back-ended would be nice. But
yeah,
overall, I think we did a good job.
I remember when you joined Loki and you were like, I'm probably not going to participate in story that much. I'm probably just going to go off and do my own thing. And now look at you now.
I said that at all. I don't know. Like, I just didn't understand like what to, like, I didn't have like necessarily a story for my character outside of like some of it. And then it just kind of evolved into it, I guess. I don't know. But like, yeah, I don't think I ever said like, no, I'm not doing story. But yeah, I mean, it was just, for me, it was like, I didn't quite understand what the premise was, or like, but then like it just started clicking. I don't know. It's hard to say.
I mean, ironically, AI with regards to voices has really helped, especially me and you, out this season.
Yes, yeah, for sure. Technology, we've been able to embrace with Taterzins, AI voices. I mean, we have voice actors that we work with, and it's nice to work with people, but people are busy, and to hire like several voice actors for different roles, it doesn't make sense half the time.
I like the word hire there. It makes it sound so important.
I mean, honestly, like this season, I did get a lot of outside help for things. I commissioned, although it wasn't really a big part of any of my episodes. I have a whole soundtrack to all my Robot Masters and stuff, all chipped to music, which you'll find in the world download. You have to go find it. It's gonna be hidden out there. So there's gonna be some music discs out there for you to find. And then, the Robot Masters themselves, I, had some wonderful artists I worked with that came up with the concepts and then turned them into Blockbench models. And then I figured out how to put a mod together to bring them in game. And then, of course, we have Taterzins, which is fantastic. Wish the dev was a little bit more up to date with updating stuff. But, I mean, you know what? It's a hobby, so what are you going to do? But it's been great, I think. It's going to be very exciting to see what we're able to do with new features in the game, especially like the note block heads and stuff like that. Implementing that in a new way is going to be fun. I think it's just going to be really exciting.
Oh, for sure. I think there's something to be said, too, about just in general, the story. Like you said, you didn't quite click with it right away. I'm in the same group. It was interesting, but I just kind of started with creepy background presence and went from there. But I think ultimately this is the first season, out of 2, but this is the first season that the endings are not all one ending. They're not all the same ending. We wanted to make sure that, you're able to watch different point of views and not watch the same thing over and over again, especially at the scale we've grown to. But the extension of that is just kind of knowing what
he's staring at you in the background.
I know, it's very distracting.
They're all staring.
Loki is staring right at me.
But yeah, we made I think one thing we did very well this season was a lot more individualized stories within the same overarching background story. And that is something I'm really proud of, and I hope we'll take that into next season with the story. That kind of environmental story of this is the world. How are you going to interact with it? How is your character going to run into these things? And I think we did really well with that. It's a little back-ended, as Loki said. Always, we're great at that. But we're getting there.
It's good though. Like I mean, yeah, it's not like it would have been great to like spread it out to especially clarify some of like the motivations behind the administration and everything. But I mean, it's fine.
I mean, because like I think we really just judge ourselves too hard on a lot of that stuff. Like
It
we
feels a
judge
lot
ourselves
like that.
against like other lore. Yeah.
Yeah, when you get to the end and you feel like you're telling the story, but there's another side to that where you really can't be too lore forward. I hate to say it, but like at least in the ground that we've found, the best way is to just kind of lightly brush things with lore. If you just slam your episode with lore, it's a lot. There are ways to do it. Peep has made some amazing movie-esque episodes that are fantastic through and through. Jess's finale, just finales in general, amazing. But throughout the course of a Minecraft SMP season, you know, you've got to do Minecraft SMP things.
Yeah, I think simplicity is the key, isn't it? You can't
Yeah.
it can't be full of jargon and intricate weaving details because it's just unsustainable.
Yeah. There
I
was
think that's something that I found out this season is like I think it's just I think we're all in the kind of category where we try and overcomplicate everything as well.
What?
And like
No.
yeah, no, definitely not you. No, but like, and there is a lot of that overthinking if it's gonna fit well or whatever. And there was I think there was a lot of that this season as well. So I'm really excited for season 3 for like a kind of more relaxed kind of approach to how we're gonna make videos and how we're going to kind of interact with each other and just not focus on like building a concrete airtight story
Right.
that affects all of us and we all need to get involved and all need to make sure that
Understand.
all of our understand, and all of us needs to make our content so it's all going towards the same point. I'm really looking forward to that aspect of individual storytelling next season.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And one thing we touched on this season, and I think we just started to move in that direction more, because one thing we touched on this season was, okay, that's a great idea. How do we show that in a video?
Yeah. Working
who's
within
gonna
the
show that
limitations of the
in
game.
a video? How do you get that information across to a viewer and in a way that everybody can understand it and see it? And as Dave said in the chat, we need to appeal to new viewers and be able to understand that. So there is a simpler story there to be had, and that's where things like the background of there is shady character around, while it feels like not a lot of story to us, it is the story, and people understood that, even if it feels like, well, there should be more. If there's not, that's okay. It's still a story to be told, and there are blanks to be filled, and I think at the end, we all filled those blanks, even if it was all in the last episode.
I think for me this season, sorry.
No, you're good.
I just, for me, I want to like people said, keep things a bit more simpler on my end. I spent a lot of the season worrying about things that, you know, what I should include, what I shouldn't include. In the end, I just didn't include anything. And I really just want to relax a bit more next season. And hopefully I can incorporate story into next season, because it kind of sucked that I couldn't incorporate it into season 2. Like, I'd like to incorporate it into season 3. I just need to relax.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think a non too specific or themed overarching story is preferable, because as soon as you sort of with the season 2 story go, okay, they're these kind of robots / aliens, it becomes very sci-fi. I'm building a medieval town. I mean, how am I going to tie a medieval town into this sci-fi story? And then people might not want to do that, especially we've got new members. You know, we have to respect that they're not necessarily going to be wanting to they have their own ideas and plans. So having individual stories, and then maybe 2 months, 3 months down the line, then looking at, hey, so we've got all these little individual stories. How can we then link them together? I think that's definitely going to be the most preferable way to go next season.
Absolutely. And see, that goes back to we saw a problem that we're discussing and how we've already put things in place to try and fix it next season. Because we're not starting next season with an immediate story. Because some of our favorite stories are the things that just happened. Old Bones Jones was not supposed to be a thing, and yet carried all the way through the season. And so those are the things that we want to just kind of let happen next season,
Yep.
and then
Old
run
Bones
with
Jones for an advert that I got very carried away with.
And the next thing you know, it is a whole thing. But those are the things that we want to maybe mesh those into the story next season. Just kind of let things happen and then go with what feels natural. There's lots of different directions. There's nothing set in stone yet, and that's what's so exciting about the prospects of this new season and new world and new story and just everything. From there, any final thoughts in regards to season 2 before we close out and roll into the world tour?
We built some very nice things.
We certainly did.
We did indeed.
Yeah.
We built
We had
was fun.
much fun.
some excellent things that would certainly qualify for certain contests that happened
Hey,
back
stop.
in February to March period that
I
a
knew
certain
it.
company
Hold on,
that
mate.
made Minecraft won't judge. I understand. You just can't admit that I won that, but I will remind you forever.
You're gonna get Loki
Can I just-
emotion one way
can
or
I just-
another.
Can I just say, Jelmu's comment, maybe the real story are the friends we made along the way. That's 100% it.
Absolutely.
That's the story.
It is.
Um,
It's fantastic.
I think, personally, I learned a lot this season about content creation and how I want to approach it. And it is, like, in that regard, not just building cool things. It's also been, like, wow, I learned a lot.
Yeah, there's
like, it's been a good year of growth, I think, for all of us.
and there is such a level of personal growth throughout all of this. It's wild because everybody's content creation journey is unique. We're all sharing them together, but you can hear several of us learning the same lessons or the complete opposite lessons for what works for them. I had the biggest problems with planning out my whole base at once. That's Dave's solution to his problem this next season. And that's fine. That's great. If it works for him, it works. That's fantastic. I found out I didn't like that. There's so much to learn, and it's just such an honor to be able to do it with this group of friends we've made.
Yeah.
So with that, though, I think that is all the time we have for today for chats. A reminder for anyone watching on YouTube that this was recorded live in the community Discord. So if you want to hang out with us in the future and ask questions, make sure you follow the link below to join us. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.